Not going to be 100% about Srila Bhaktivinod Thakura. It will be about him, but a different way, because his legacy, we maintain through his songs and his books and pictures and murti. In that way, he is a major figure in our spiritual lives. But Srila Prabhupada wanted not exactly a museum, but a research center. And so that just happens to be printed in the new BTG, the Bhaktivedanta Research Center, preserving Gaudiya Vaishnavism's literary tradition by Satyarana Das. The seeds of this important project lie in Srila Prabhupada's request that his disciples preserve the works of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakura. My journey to India 2 years ago was punctuated by unexpected discoveries. Usually when I make the pilgrimage, I focus on the holiest of holies. I visit Vrindavan, the land of Lord Krishna in Uttar Pradesh, and Mayapur, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in West Bengal. I often underestimate or even neglect the cities that got me there, Delhi and Kolkata, respectively. This time, however, Krishna had a different plan. In Delhi, I visited Gopal Krishna Maharaj's many ISKCON temples, opened since Prabhupada's time with us, and inspired by a request Srila Prabhupada had made many years ago. In the Chippiwada area of Delhi, I visited the temple where Prabhupada stayed in the early 60s while publishing his first translations of Srimad Bhagavatam before leaving for America. In Kolkata, I visited Prabhupada's birthplace in a suburb known as Talegunde and the Bhaktivinod Research Center, BRC, a deeply inspiring ISKCON project that has the potential to make Gaudiya Vaishnavism's literary tradition appreciated worldwide. This facility, in fact, became the highlight of my trip. The unassuming South Kolkata building, donated in 2000 by two ISKCON well-wishers, Madan Chand Samsuka and Gita Mukherjee Samsuka, was specifically earmarked to create an extensive Vaishnava library and academic research center. The project was initiated relatively quickly, and with the hard work of BRC's founders, Hari Saridas and Pranavadas, along with the help of others, including Achyutadas, the then head librarian, it soon morphed into a major book and manuscript preservation facility as well. On December 31st, 2008, the BRC was officially approved as an ISKCON Mayapur affiliated project, and the required space was allotted in the Kolkata building for library and research purposes. Further, on June 30th, 2009, ISKCON leaders Jayapataka Swami and Bhakti Charu Swami spearheaded a formal inauguration of the BRC, an elaborate celebration recognizing its potential and blessing its vision is integral to ISKCON's future. BRC's origins. The seed of the project can be traced to 1972, when Srila Prabhupada instructed his followers to preserve with microfiche and ever then state-of-the-art equipment the work of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakura, which could then be found at the Thakura's birthplace in Ula Binagar. Forgive that pronunciation, in Nadia district, West Bengal. Prabhupada sent his disciple Yadu Das, a photographer, to preserve the buildings of the Binagara Library, underlying its importance in a letter to one of his leading disciples in India. He writes, "I have asked Yadu to come here to Binagara from Bombay for photographing all the manuscripts in the possession of Lalit Prasad Thakur, page by page, very completely, before it is too late. The pages are in very decrepit condition, so best thing is to request Lalit Prasad if we may take care of them by treating them against insects and storing them in a tight, dry storage place, where they may be preserved for future generations of Vaishnavas to see the actual handwriting and words of such great saintly persons. Treat this matter very seriously and thoroughly, and take all precautions to protect this wonderful boon of literature forever. Yadu may photograph every page, never mind Bengali or English or any other language. And later, we shall see where to send the copies to different places. You also write to Yadav at Bombay in this connection and request him to join you in Vijayanagara immediately. I have also written him. These items are very, very priceless and are a great treasure house of Vaishnava lore. So be very careful in this matter and take all precautions to guard them. A letter to Achyutananda Swami, June 12, 1972. Thus, Prabhupada expressed a strong desire to preserve these and other ancient manuscripts and texts written by previous acharyas, describing these words as a treasure house of Vaishnava lore. In fact, he allotted money from his book trust, the BBT, for this purpose, indicating how important it was for him. For rarely would he divert money that could go back into printing his books. Several scholarly disciples began to travel the subcontinent to unearth and photograph ancient manuscripts of Vaishnava tradition. In 1975, Prabhupada revisited this subject with several of his early disciples, particularly Ravindra Swarup Das, Dr. William Didlia, if that's how you say his name. Huh? Deadweiler. Yes. In that meeting, they discussed the possibility of opening a Vedic university in Mayapur, which would of necessity, Prabhupada said, include a first-class library. In August 1976, Srila Prabhupada similarly told his Bombay Juhu managers to create a Vedic library for the temple there. He said it should contain all his own books, those of all the acharyas, including those of ever Vaishnava lineages, as well as the Upanishads, Puranas, and ever bona fide spiritual texts. Srila Prabhupada also mentioned an extensive library and research facility in the context of his proposed temple of the Vedic Planetarium project, now fully underway. Clearly, the Library Research Center was close to his heart, and he repeatedly spoke about it when addressing the potential of his major projects. It would finally see the light of day in Kolkata. The VRC today. The systematic study of Vaishnava history, philosophy, and cultural heritage has been neglected in India in the last 2 centuries, said Pranavadas. And there is a great need to revive and recover some of the great achievements of this ancient tradition. The study of religion in India is now being introduced in colleges and universities on a greater scale than ever before, and there is now scope for emphasizing the study of Vaishnavism. This is where the BRC comes in. International scholars and devotees alike are eager to better understand the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the BRC works to provide key resources toward that end. Gaudiya Vaishnavism has a strong literary heritage in Sanskrit, but also in Bengali, especially in Bengali, since Bengal is the land of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Placing the BRC in Kolkata was thus a strategic move to fully benefit from centuries of scholarship in the Bengal region. Scholarship that has been minutely preserved in rare manuscripts and books still largely available in eastern India and nearby states. By frequenting book fairs, libraries, and antiquarian collections, the library staff at the BRC has been gathering hard-to-find books and journals for posterity. A recent focus has been traditional commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita in various Indic languages especially those written by authors in the Vaishnava lineage. Additionally, early translations and editions by Western scholars such as Charles Wilkins' first English version, the Bhagavad Gita, dialogues between Krishna and Arjuna, originally published in 1785, are preserved at the facility. The BRC is also a repository of more recent Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, such as Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, in 53 languages from around the world. The BRC deems ancient manuscripts as most important, however, and their manuscript mission is consequently a prime objective. BRC representatives travel all over Eastern India, Vrindavan, and other areas central to Vaishnava practice to digitize and preserve rare Vaishnava manuscripts. Over 1,000 manuscripts have been digitized thus far, with over 3,000 more carefully cataloged by Bharati Roy, head of the BRC's manuscript division. She is assisted by Associate Librarian Assis Chakrabarti, and together they are relentlessly in preserving these priceless literary gems for the BRC. They are particularly fond of ancient tombs on tree bark. That's called baukal, pulp of cotton, tulat, and both palm and tall leaf. There is a step-by-step process for preserving these older materials. Fumigating, applying to both books and manuscripts. Cleaning by a sophisticated process using acid-free paper. Wrapping in cardboard, covering in red cloth, which keeps worms away. Maybe it's a name for a certain type of cloth and not just a color cloth, huh? You think worms are afraid of red cloth? Using naphthalene and other preservation chemicals, and finally applying oil to the wooden shelf on which the manuscripts are kept. The core holding of the library constitute over 17,000 books and 3,000 journals thus far. One example, through a signed agreement with Sripad Bibi Bodhayana Maharaj, current Acharya of the Gopinath Gaudiya Math, the BRC secured permanent custody of over 3,500 items from the private early 20th century library of Sundarananda Vijayvinod, one of the main secretaries of Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. Pranavadas had located and pursued this library for several years during his doctoral research on Saraswati Thakur, specifically to acquire it for the BRC. This collection alone includes many rare and valuable books, such as the complete original works of Bhaktivinod Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Some specific examples: Bhaktivinod Thakur's own handwritten song book containing 26 songs and poems, including the original Guru Arti song, and complete original collection of all Gaudiya Math periodicals, such as the daily Nadia Prakash, over 40,000 pages. The weekly Gaudiya, the Sajani Toshini, and the Harmonies. The last will and testament of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, witnessed and signed by 4 disciples 16 hours before his passing, is also now owned by the BRC. This is Saraswati Thakura's diary from the years 1904 through 1936, the only known copy in existence. But the Sena's holdings go back to earlier centuries as well, often to the very beginning of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. One special item among them, the Dada Pandit Srimad Bhagavatam, allegedly containing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's original handwritten comment. This singular, precious item is now on display. Is a metal plate using zinc is a medium for preservation, though the original is on tree bark. Unfortunately, the dedicated man who created the zinc plate copy passed away without completing his effort. But the actual handwriting of Sri Gadadhar and Sri Chaitanya are still a treasure for the eye. You get a real sense of history at the BRC with its ancient manuscripts, both palm leaf and printed works, and handwritten documents by stalwarts of the tradition. Assistant Librarian Sundara Gopal Das and Library Assistant Susanto Chakraborty are leading the painstaking process of scanning every page of every book, document, and handwritten item in its extensive library, ensuring an electronic record of everything in its care. For digitalization and preservation, the BRC purchased a specialized library scanner, a Book-Eye 4, it says in parentheses, designed to protect sensitive, tender documents that can easily fall apart. Due to the hard work of Suraj Singh, the General Administrative Manager, the BRC premises now include 7 rooms that have been renovated into comfortable guest quarters, where scholars, students, and visitors can stay while researching various subjects related to Vaishnava Dharma, taking advantage of the BRC's many assets, recognition, and partnership. The BRC's work is now recognized throughout the subcontinent. For example, on March 15, 2017, Balay Bharat, a non-religious social-cultural mission based in Bangalore, conferred on the center the Balay Bharat Award of Excellence. The BRC was honored for its outstanding contribution to preserving and disseminating ancient Indian cosmology, Vedic wisdom, and Vaishnavism. The center works with the academic community. Its closest connection at this point is with its sister institute, the Bhaktivedanta Vidyapith Research Center, BVRC, at the Govardhan Eco Village in Maharashtra, which was recently affiliated with Mumbai University. The institutes share the same purpose and long-term vision. Gauranga Das, the chairman of the BVRC, is now administrative director of the BRC as well, working closely with the academic director. BRC co-founder Pranaba Das Hari Sari, the administrative director of the BRC as well, working closely with academic director, BRC co-founder Pranavadas. Hari Sari Das, the ever co-founder, continues to be on the board of directors, along with ISKCON Kolkata Temple President Dairam Das, an active supporter of the project. Other key staff members who recently joined the team include Balaram Lalit Das, Dean of Administration, and Venu Gopaladev Das, Dean of Finance. Another close partnership is with the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies, OCHS, directed by Saunaka Rishi Das. The OCHS contributed in the initial stages of the BRC and continues to do so. OCHS has launched a project in which scholars will research Vaishnava periodicals at the BRC, such as the weekly Gaudiya and the daily Nadiya Prakash. A group of academics from India, Finland, and the UK are working together on this ambitious project. Pranavadas and the BRC's Dean of Academics, Sumanta Rudra, in cooperation with more experienced researchers at Calcutta University, begun another important project, a Vaishnava encyclopedia in English, culted from large numbers of sources in Bengali. Additionally, in the winter of 2018, the BRC co-organized with Calcutta University a major conference on the content of Chaitanya Vaishnavism in India. Similar projects are planned for the near future. Funding, of course, is always welcome. Or not funding, but funding. There are many opportunities for patrons who have a deep feeling for Vaishnava philosophy and history to serve the BRC, founded on Srila Prabhupada's inspiration with both their hearts and their financial contributions. And that ends the article.
Who wrote it, Prabhu?
Satyaraj. Okay, does anybody want to contribute something about Bhaktivinod Thakura?
It's very inspiring to hear that all of this Vaishnava literature is being preserved so well. And where his works are a major portion. They were described as law books.
Yeah. Yeah, when I picked up the magazine, I saw Bhaktivinod Thakura's picture. I thought that the article was going to be primarily about him. And it wasn't. I was a little disappointed. It was too late and nothing else had been done for any class tonight. So, but then when I looked it over and saw that it specifically mentioned preserving all of his works, I thought it would be appropriate to read. When I checked on Desire Tree, they didn't have anything in writing. It was all YouTube videos of devotees giving hour-long classes about him. And I didn't have time to listen to the classes, So, and this is what we ended up with this evening.
As a magistrate, it seems like he would have very well absorbed the legal aspects of Vaishnava philosophy and how to apply it. And so it seems that Bhaktisiddhanta, being his son and being such a scholar, Ray of Vishnu, as they say, seems like there's a great wealth of literature from both of them. That's very valuable for the 10,000-year mission that remains.
Yeah, we can see in obtaining these works that there is some legality to it, because you can't just take it. It's not like you just find it in the earth somewhere in some public place, but it's in someone's possession. Yeah. And so then, unless that person surrenders it, or you somehow ever acquire it from them, maybe by paying for it or something, then you can't actually get the work done. So with many, I guess the majority of them, they're just digitizing, with permission from the people. And that way then they have a copy of it.
The scholars can go to work on it.
So there is some, legal involvement to acquiring these works. It's already happening that the BRC is becoming known for its good work in this field, that people, rather than seeing these things just get left in a chest in the attic somewhere when they pass on, that they're actually bringing it to them, because it will be preserved and for the good of others. So that's by Prabhupada's inspirations and the hard work of his disciples and so many other devotees coming together to actually make this happen. Otherwise, so many things can be easily lost. Just like Lord Chaitanya, he could only find the 5th chapter of the Brahma Samhita. That's all we have, 100 verses of the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. But if I'm not mistaken, there's 100 chapters. Yeah. So you have to be able to go to the celestial planets or someplace, because on Earth there was only the 5th chapter found by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Kesava temple, some big temple somewhere in South India. And Mahaprabhu found that the local Brahmins, they had possession of this 5th chapter from the Brahma Samhita. Anything else? Only, what time is it? It's 25 till, what time is it?
7:15.
It's only 7:15, so. Yeah, we have to get it all together. Okay, so maybe we can work on that, getting the facade together.
No, he's already,
It's over at the pavilion?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, anything else before we break for facade? Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah.